In this video I'm gonna show you how to make the Apparate effect from Harry Potter films. So let's jump right into After Effects. So here we are in After Effects and this is the clip we will work on. So our subject walking and a part at the end with nobody in the scene. Let's go ahead and trim the part of the clip we don't need. Then cut 2 frames from this clip at this very point, and at the end of the clip cut away the part where there's no subject and take that part, bring it to the beginning at the bottom. We will use it as a clean plate. Now I'm simply tidying up my timeline, I'm renaming the layers and trimming the work area. Now on the appear layer I will draw a mask which should be quite detailed using the Roto Bezier tool, and I will feather it by 2 pixels. Set a keyframe for the mask path property. I will temporarily change the mask mode to none so I can see where I'm moving the mask, and adjust it in the second frame. Now hide the clean plate layer and set the mask mode back to add. Now we need to save the frame of the composition, so go to Composition, Save Frame As, File. Let's give it a name and a location and hit save, and set the post-render action to import. Now click Render. Now apply a fast blur to the appear layer and set it to 20 just for vertical blur. Unhide the clean plate layer . Now import the frame we previously exported and trim it to be just 7 frames long, and shift it to make it overlap for just 1 frame with the appear layer, just like this. Now take the rectangular mask tool and draw a shape like this. Set it to none like before. And move it to be just below the most lower point of your frame. Set a keyframe to mask path. Go 4-5 frames forward and expand it like this, in order to make it cover all our subject. In the next frame set another keyframe, and in the last frame copy and paste the first one. Set it back to add. Now we can pre-comp our still layer, so right click, pre-compose, and give it a name with the moval attribute into the new composition. Now maybe in this point we can take the puppet tool and make some points that we can use to distort our subject. And we can give it a C shape. Apply the CC vector blur effect and simply set it to 6. Then apply the liquify effect and try to squish it a bit like this. Then, with the pan behind tool, move the anchor point to be at the center of the C shape. Then make it 3D. In the last frame, press R to see the rotation property. Set a keyframe for Z rotation, go to the first frame and set it to 220. This to give the rotation, which combined with the mask gives this effect. Enable motion blur for both the layer and the composition to have this beautiful effect. If you want, you can also improve the shape using again the liquify effect. Then go to the composition settings, go to advanced and set the shutter angle to whatever value you want in order to have more or less motion blur. I will set it to 420 to have a lot of blur. Now comes the fun part. Let's take this layer and transform it using different properties like rotation, position and scale, duplicate and do some kind of shape, for example like an atom shape, I don't know, just make an interesting shape of your transportation. Then select these layers and press S on your keyboard to see the scale property. Set a keyframe in the first part at the beginning. Go to the end and set another keyframe. Go to the middle and increase just a bit the scale property like this. At this point, press R on your keyboard to see all the various rotation properties and select all the keyframes. Then open the graph editor and use the handles and the is property of keyframes to make this kind of wave. If you don't know how to use the graph editor, I've made another tutorial which unfortunately is all in Italian, but anyway, if you manage to do this shape, you will be okay. And we have something like this. Looks pretty cool. Now I can import some stock footage from Video Copilot, I can cut the first 2 or 3 frames, and I can also apply a hue and saturation effect to make it looks more real. This is the core of the effect. So now we can select everything, go to layer and pre-compose, give it a name and press OK. In this composition we can go to the composition settings and set the height to 800 pixels in order to have a 2:35:1 aspect ratio. Now make a new white solid and take the pen tool and draw a shape like this, which covers the part of the image where things happen. Feather it by whatever you want and pre-compose it with move all attributes into the new composition. Now hide it and make a new adjustment layer. We can call it depth of field. Apply the camera lens blur effect. Set the shape to decagon. Set the blur map layer to depth map comp. The channel to alpha and invert it. In this way, with the blur radius parameter, we can blur out things in the image, like this. Make sure to enable repeat edge pixels and set it to, for example, 9. Now we can make any color correction, color grading we want. For example, with the Magic Bullet Looks, we can also add a camera shake to have this final effect. By the way, if you want to make the other part, so when the subject disappears, the process is exactly the same, but reversed pretty much. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and if you do have any comments, questions or suggestions or anything you want to tell me, just leave a comment below. Thanks for watching, see you next time. Ciao ciao!